myself and PC Hodgson, we were in a response car. We had a call come down to the radio that there was a male outside the Arsenal football ground, the Emirates Stadium, potentially waving a machete in the air. So we ran on what we call an I grade, an immediate graded call, and we arrived on scene to Avenel Road. We both stopped the car, darted out the vehicle. He discarded of the weapon he was holding, and we managed to detain him.
He violently resisted, so we had a little scrap on the floor. Took 2 sets of handcuffs to restrain him effectively. We were then joined by 2 further officers, PC Homer and PC Woolmer, and when we stood him up, we realised that he might be wearing a improvised explosive device that looked like a suicide vest.
At this stage, the real panic kicked in. Saw a number of wires emanating from pockets in his body, what looked to be a battery charger on his neck. It was quite a scary moment because we didn't know. I've never been in any situation like that, in the job or outside of the job, and we immediately called for extra units to come and help us.
When you've been working with people for a while, you recognise their voices, and you understand when somebody is, when something's not right. And then Jason came over the air and had a different tone in his voice. He sounded really worried about what he'd found and what they'd discovered and what they were dealing with. So it was at that point that when there was the mention of a possible IED, that clearly raised the stakes for everybody, and we needed to get there and get with our colleagues and help them out.
Cordons were put in, the public were evacuated, bomb disposal officers were requested. All we knew had to do was just keep hold of this guy and not let him get away.
As I arrived, I went into the scene just to see what I could do to help the 2 guys that were there. And as we arrived, the 2 of them had him either side. They had 2 sets of handcuffs on the guy. He was incoherent, rambling on. He had religious writings on him. His manner and demeanour and what he was wearing gave every indication to me and to the rest of my colleagues that this was a genuine threat.
A usual search takes 2 or 3 minutes. It took him 10 to 15, just to make sure everything was above board.
I remember saying to lads at the time as we were doing it, "Oh, hello, what have we got here?" And I think they were a little bit bothered by that.
I've never seen somebody so calm in such a horrible situation.
I followed the wires round to the back, and luckily and thankfully it came to a dead end just above his waistband.
It's fairly obvious that had it been a viable device and it went off, then obviously there would have been a number of fatalities, including 4 police officers.
Every day is a different day, but I never in my kind of wildest dreams thought that I would be faced with that kind of situation.
My partners, we've known each other for some time, some 17 years, and she's known me from my time in the military, and she knows the type of character that I am. She wouldn't expect anything less, really. So, apart from telling me off, no, she's been really supportive, and it's what it's all about.
I rang her and said, "I love you and I love the kids," and she said, "What have you done?" So I explained everything to her, and she was, I think it was a mixture of proud and very, very, very annoyed.
Military, police, whatever that service you might be, we all work for each other, and in times of danger, etc., we all pull it out of the bag. And I was reassured to know that from coming out of one organisation into another, there's no different. We all do exactly the same thing when called upon.